Hello. Well, it's Thursday, and I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I ain't had to, but I've set all my accounts to private on TikTok. Now, if anybody wants to, before everything was just open, so everybody could just see what I was posting and just tag along, sort of thing. They didn't have to subscribe or out like that. Whereas now, if anybody wants to follow me, so these are new ones. I don't know if you can see that because lighting's not too good because I'm outside. But Sharon May, she sent me a request to follow me. Sparks, S-P-A-R-K-S, has sent me a request. ABS has sent me a request. She might be something to do with brakes because that's only ABS I know. But anyway, she sent me a friend's request. I've accepted her actually because I think she was on before. There's a lot of people sent me these. All these aren't read now. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. Sent me a request to follow me, whereas before you didn't need to do that. And same on TikTok, YouTube. Now, if anybody, it's a closed account basically. People can't just log on to it. I don't think. I don't know how that works, but it's all set to private anyway. The Facebook's always been more or less private. Well, not always, but for quite a long time, since trolling. So let me explain one or two things why I've done that. I think it's important to get this out there. Because not a lot of people would basically just get out of the way and send out for a few days. Well, I'm not like that. I believe in, if it's on your mind, speak it openly. It's no law against that. We all have a freedom of speech in this country still. I'm sure Keir Starmer agrees with that. I don't agree with illegal asylum seekers. Let me make that point really clear at the beginning. I'm not racist. I've got friends who are Jamaican. Caroline, we looked after her husband quite recently anyway, for my way of things. Pete Barton, and Caroline, absolute and utter diamond, follows me on social media, one of the nicest, kindest, genuine ladies I know. Is she white? No, she's not. Do I care about that? No, I don't. Quite simple. She's nice, I'm nice. That's how it goes. If I met a paedophile who wasn't white, do I have to like him because he's of mixed race? I don't think so. I like people who are nice to me. I don't like illegal asylum. Not the illegal asylum seekers. I don't like the way that people come into this country and abuse the system. I put a post on I think it was Monday, where I was leaving Balfour Carpets, who've been very good to hand us some false grass for a coffin. Long story. And this guy were driving in Middle Road. Well, he was 3/4 over my side on White Line. He took the corner too wide. Nobody would take a corner that wide. Could have been a child crossing road. There could have been a pensioner struggling to cross. He just swerved round, taking all oncoming traffic out and people. And I made a point in saying that my idea is when they come across on channel, government give them a driving licence, give them a car and put them out to drive. Well, there's no white lines in English Channel. You can't do that with illegal asylum seekers. So, no wrong in that, I think. There ain't no white lines in English Channel, if you're allowed to call them white lines now. Let's be truthful. Okay, no, I was going to put black bin out this morning. I thought, I can't say to Cheryl I'm putting black bin out because she might report me to immigration standard or whatever it is. So, Tommy, you got to be careful what you say, aren't you? Anyway, there's some light. There isn't no lines. The bright lines at Middle Road, let's say. There's none of them in English Channel. How can you expect them to come across here and be able to drive on our roads when they can't even speak English? You can't, can you? Crazy. Anyway, back to the next point I made. Idiots. And there's plenty of them about. But on that same topic, a bus truck going past me. Now, I've seen on social media that the recruit... Sid, leave them alone. Walkers, come here. I've seen on social media that Garda in Ireland is... Sid, come here. Come here. We know it's annoying, but come here. Come here. So, they let... I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, Garda's recruiting people in Ireland. Straight illegal asylum seekers are allowed to join Garda and be put into their police. Do I think that's right? No, I don't think that's right. Do I think it's right that they're out delivering food? In fact, in some of the hotels, they're actually cooking the food and going out and delivering food. I've seen that on YouTube. They're actually letting them drive PSV, public transport vehicles. Is that right? No, it isn't. If they can't even board a plane and come here legally, we shouldn't be doing anything for these, I think, at all. These, I mean, illegal asylum seekers. As for Muslims, am I racist? Well, I'd like to stand up and say, let's ask the guy who murdered the 3 little white girls whether he were racist. What about the Manchester bomber? Were he racist? He wouldn't be afraid to stand up and say no, would he? No, he wouldn't. I'm not racist. I believe that there's good and bad in every section of society. I believe there's good and bad in Catholic faith. Of course there is. Them priests have been shagging altar boys since day one. It's been going on and it's been kept quiet, and they've moved priests to a different community. We had one at St. Teresa's many years ago. A lot of people knew that what he were up to, but he just got moved on. I can say that on here, we are retribution. Big word. There's good and bad in Protestant lot. Of course there is. There's good and bad in Sikhs, in Hindus. There's good and bad in Muslims. I've seen Muslims in Sheffield are feeding homeless, feeding hungry. You've got to have seen it on YouTube. Take your hat off to them. Take your hat off to them. I won't call myself racist. Just because I disagree with Keir Starmer and now they've allowed the borders just to be opened up, I don't think that's racist. I don't care if the Muslim who's coming over. I don't care if the Sikhs, Hindus. I don't care if they're Catholics or Protestants. I don't care. I believe personally it's an invasion, but that's just my views. It's a legalised invasion. Am I racist? No, not one bit. Live and let live. I've got a black dog, for fuck's sake. Let's be honest and truthful about this. I ain't even got white sheep. My Jacobs are mixed coloured, so they're mixed. I've got 2 donkeys down at bottom, wherever they are. They're down there today. They're not white. I've got a brown and a light brown one. They're mixed race. I'm not racist. Same with people. I've got mixed race friends. The problem is some people have a chip on the shoulder. That's the problem in England. And if somebody don't like you, they can't not like you by themselves. They need a little group around them for support. So they'll share things on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook that you've put on, and you might have said something in all innocence like, okay, learning them to drive bus and all now. Well, they are learning them to drive bus. I'd seen a post where openly bus companies were being encouraged to set on illegal immigrants for driving buses, pass them through the test quicker. Do I think that's right? No, I don't think it's right. But if you say, oh, the race card comes out. Have I ever been a LDF or whatever you call it? I've seen a post where somebody's put, he's a member of LDF, I think they've put. I'm sure it is LDF. and he's a member of what do you call it? NF, National Front. No, I'm not. No, I'm not a member of them parties. Some of what the National Front wanted, I agreed with. Quite a lot of what they wanted, I agreed with. I agreed with nonces being castrated. That's the only way to stop a nonce from attacking a child, is to castrate them. Right? That's my view on it. Castration. And it stops them from breeding. In England today, everybody can breed. You get somebody who's never done naught for society, never had a job all their lives, they just scrounge off at state, but they're allowed to breed, and by breeding they get more money off at state. They should be castrated. That's my view on it. That's my take on it. I've paid into a system all my life, and not only paid into that system, I've paid well and above. In fact, I've got a private pension that's going to pay me out nearly twice my salary. That's mad, isn't it? In 20 years, me and my wife's been abroad twice. We've been to Rome on my 50th birthday, and we went away when I were 55, I think it were, with some friends. We went to Rome for 4 days. 4 days in 20 years. We went to that rock. Forgot what it's called. Anyway, we went away about 3 days. 1 week. 1 week in 20 years. I see him on Facebook, never worked a day in their lives. Fuck, you know, I'm off. Fuck you, I'm off. Good luck to him. That's what he want to do. Good luck to him. But don't slate me because I want to retire. Mad, isn't it? Crazy. You get a lot of people on social media jealous to death. They're not jealous. They're jealous of what I have, basically. This is how jealousy works, and they're jealous of what you have. There'll be people, if you're watching this, there'll be people who's jealous of you because you've got a nicer car than them. You might have got a bigger house than them. You might have got a nicer garden than them. You might have got more money in bank. There'll be people jealous of you, without a doubt. Let me tell you something that they're not jealous of. They're not jealous of how you got it. They're not jealous that you went to work, come rain, sleet, or snow. You went snow. Yeah, snow. It's not stuck, it's me. They're not jealous of that. Muslims work hard. Let me make that a clear point. Yeah, they do actually work. They have it instilled in them at an early age. If you want to get on, you have to work. This video won't get shared in Muslim community because videos like this aren't foppering out for people, are they? People want to see negative videos where you're slating illegal asylum seekers. They want to try and wind other groups up with that. Let me say something, I've always said it. I were on buses once with a kid called Saeed, and he was one of the nicest kids I'd worked with on buses. Genuinely nice lad. And his work ethics were amazing, and he was telling me that, you know, from an early age, his dad says, you want out, you have to work for it. You know, nobody's going to give you anything, you've got to go to work for it. Pity a lot of English parents don't teach their kids that, innit? Because that is the only way to get on in life, it's to work. Unless you can floss on YouTube and TikTok, but there's too many at it. Who wants to see fucking idiots dancing about flossing? There's good and bad Muslims. There's good and bad Catholics. There's good and bad Sikhs. We're a mixed. England's a mixed up place. Mixed up is a big. It is mixed up, isn't it? It's fucking really mixed up. But it's mixed with different cultures and different people. Now, am I racist to them? To be truthful with you, I'm not all that bothered about them. I'm 61 years old. I've had a good life. I've had the best of this world, I'm sure I have. I'm not all that bothered about people coming in if they work hard. But what I don't want to see, I don't want to see England just turn into a dumping ground for every other nation, because we gain benefits. Shouldn't be like that. Shouldn't give them nothing. You come into this country on a boat, you should be put into a detention centre, a holding place, not an hotel. You should be found out where you've come from, and you should be then put straight back to where they've come from. Quite simple, quite easy. No hotel, no handouts, no benefits, no driving licence, no PSV licences, no working for Garda police in Ireland, no out delivering Deliveroo with bikes. None of that. None of that should happen. Holding centre, bang, straight away. Straight back. If that makes me racist, then go ahead and share it. So be it. But I don't believe that is racism. I think that's just being normal. I don't have to go to work. I could stay here. I don't have to go back to Sheffield. I could stay here. I'm going back because I've got an agreement with a company who's bought my company that for 3 months we'll do a transition. And if a family requests me to go back, then I'll go back. So somebody might come in 6 months' time or 12 months' time and say, we'd like Michael to be on service. We want Michael to look after everything. And that company want me to do that because that family want me, and that's what it's all about. If I weren't successful, I want to be able to sell a business. If I weren't successful, I want to be able to grow a business to what I grew it to. We'll all always have negativity. Even other funeral directors are jealous to death of other funeral directors. Let me tell you this now. In fact, I won't go into it too deeply on here, but there is a funeral director who's been saying they'll not honour funeral plans because they're jealous to death. Of course they'll honour funeral plans. If you bought a baker's shop, look at it this way. If you bought a baker's shop and they've got a contract with Chatsworth House that once a month there's a £3,000 order comes in for bread cakes, and Adam Hall's got an order that comes in once a month for another £2,000 worth of bread cakes, but you bought this little baker's shop, and all of a sudden you get a phone call and it's Chatsworth and they say, yeah, can we put that order in for 3 grams worth of bread cakes? What are you going to say? No, I'm sorry, we're not honouring that contract. Of course you're not. Think of it logically. Think of things logically. I don't really know, with my hand on my heart, many funeral directors who are racist. Because funeral directors want you to come to them. They're not bothered if you're black or brown or grey or cream or yellow. They're not bothered. Because they want to look after your family. They want to do best for you. I've looked after gays. I've looked after lesbians. I've bought gay pride ties for my lads. Why have I done that? I've done that quite simply because some of the nicest people that I know are gay. Quite simple. And I'm proud to say that. We looked after one gentleman a bit back, John, and I would say were closest friend that I had on this planet. He weren't what they call straight, no, but funny, amazing, kind-hearted. Nobody like him. Why? Oh yeah, we're white. Is that why I liked him? No, I liked him because he was a genuinely nice bloke. So I'd look after anybody. We've looked after Muslims only maybe 2 years since we did a funeral in a mosque at Page Hall. And I had a good chat to Imam. And there was security on that mosque, paid for by government. And I said I thought it was disgusting. Not just that the English government were paying to have security around mosques, and they weren't doing that around churches, but we had to take them steps in this country to stop radicalism. Absolutely vile. We have to get on, but I think borders realistically need closing. That makes me racist. Crack on and share that I'm racist. Crack on and share it. If I believe that people should live together in this country and help each other and support each other, but nobody wants to know about them type of views, do they? Because that's what I believe. Next time Muslims are in town in Sheffield city centre feeding homeless with soup, I want you to contact me. Quite simple. I'll go down and feed them with you. Not a problem at all. Because we're all 3 months from gutter. Look at what I've got. But I could lose it just like that. I could have a nervous breakdown. I could turn to drink. All could happen. But I understand that and I realise it. Enjoy what you've got. And if you can help somebody, help them. I'll never ever agree with illegal asylum seekers. So don't go there trying to make me agree with it. The person who's sharing the vile things on Facebook calling me racist, let me tell you something. Wally's granddad, his granddad, raped a woman in Woodhouse Mill. 30 years since. He ain't put that on, has he? He ain't put that his grandma actually gave him an alibi because he'd gone to work at 6 o'clock that morning to go on a building site. But she says he didn't leave while 6:30. But she lied. An whole family knew. All the family knew about it. He's not being really mouthy about this, is he? No. Wonder why. So, if you want to follow somebody like that and you want to support them, fine, do that. Why don't they like me so much? Well, because sadly they'll never have what I've got. And I'm not on about money. I'm on about happiness. That's it. Quite simple. So all now my accounts are all private, which is sad because I think you should be open and honest. But now people will have to send me a request and I'll add some. I'll not others. I'll not add people who haven't got a name or haven't got a picture on the thing. They can sod off. I want to see stuff on their channel before they see it on mine. Crap to be like that, innit? Not to be able to trust people. But that's the way it will with social media. Anyway, I've got things to do. I'm going to crack on and do them. Get them done. I don't know what time it is. To be truthful, I ain't got a clue. It's not early, it's not late. It doesn't really matter when I'm up here because time just goes by. Anyway, I'm going. Have a lovely day. Enjoy your Thursday, everybody. And thanks for liking and thanks for subscribing if you have subscribed, and thanks for leaving me a comment. And if you hear anybody put, hey, he's racist, just say you don't like illegal asylum seekers, mate, that's all. Do you? Because if you do, you pay for them. I only swore once in this blog and all. Did well there, didn't I, Tom? Take care, everybody. Look after yourselves. Ta-ra.